there. Hudson here, my dad there. And it's time for Todd's Tips with your favorite voiceover talents. Obviously. We've also, Roy's down here.
Our 25-pound, 15-week-old whining
heifer dog.
Yep. Lab.
But he's going to be up here. We're kind of babysitting. And we'll see how it works. I might have to take him downstairs. And
then I'll just wax eloquently all by myself for a little bit.
Yeah. So without further ado, what we do is, I guess it's going to be Roy's tips. I don't know if you can hear the whimpering, but Roy, what's up? Found himself the corner over there.
Maybe he's okay.
Maybe you can see him in the back there behind Dad.
No,
can you see him?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
Perfect. All right. We're back with Todd's tips. Sorry.
So we've been working on do's and don'ts, and today we have a do, and I'll get to that in just a second. But first of all, I want to remind you of these caveats that we always put on here. The reason we do that is because how you do business is none of my business. I do business a certain way, but it's not that it's not important. Some of these things are very important. You need to stop and you need to think, does this apply to me? Or how should this apply to me? Or maybe this doesn't apply to me at all. But I think being in the business long enough, I think all of these apply in some way, or at least you need to think about it and evaluate it. And if on those rare occasions you say, nope, sorry, this just doesn't apply to me, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So here's my do for today as part of our Todd's Tips. I do trust clients to pay me. I do trust them. I'm going to talk about three things today as far as why I trust them. First of all, most people have a conscience. They're born with a conscience. Every person is. And they know somewhat innately right and wrong. That's just the way it is. So that's one reason why I trust people. It seems like the vast majority of people have a good conscience. Second of all, most people in business know that if you're going to be in business, you have to play by the rules. And one of the rules is this: if you purchase or get a product and service from somebody, product and or service from somebody, you pay for that product and or service. And then lastly, I'm a trustworthy person. And so I just want to trust other human beings. That's my default. I want to trust other human beings, especially people that I do business with. And so I trust my clients to pay me. I always have. Every single client that I've ever had, I've trusted them until they broke that trust. I never ask, and I mean never, I never ask clients to sign a contract. I sign contracts because people ask me to do that. I never ask them to sign contracts, and I never ask for money up front. Some people have that as a standard, 25%, 50% up front, then I'll do the work for you. I have never done that. And my VO business, much of it, thanks to my wife and financial assistant, has a 99.75% collection rate over the years. We rarely, and I mean rarely, don't get paid. And that's with hundreds of clients and thousands of projects every single year. Now, there are several reasons why trusting my clients to pay me is pretty easy. Okay, so besides those three things, there's a few things that I have on my side. First, my wife and I are very organized and systematic in sending invoices and then regularly reminding clients if payments are late. And we use those as a marketing touch. We've talked about that before. Sometimes if it's on and on and on, there's a phone call, there's a, can we work with you? Do we need to do payments? Those types of things. And maybe we get a little bit more, we need to get this payment done. Just this last year, I had somebody come back to me and want to work with me that they haven't paid me 3 years ago. And when I explained that to the gentleman, he said, "What? We didn't pay you?" And boom, that day he paid me. So it just slipped through the cracks, even though we had sent multiple emails. I don't know what happened. But anyway, I worked with him and I've worked with him several times since, and everything's been fine. But we're systematic and organized. And if you're going to be in this business or any business, you have to be systematic and organized. You can't have a ton of money laying on the books not being paid. Otherwise, you're not in business. You're just doing free stuff. Second, we send out invoices within days of sending the finished audio. And one of the reasons we do that is because they're people. We're always excited about something that's just happened. And if they've done a project and it's really been great and you've been the voiceover, they're excited about that. All of a sudden you hit them with the invoice and it's right on their minds and say, yeah, of course I'm going to pay you. But if you wait 3, 4, 6 weeks, a month or 2 after that, you might find them not so excited. Maybe they didn't get paid for some parts of it or whatever, and it's just harder for them.
Or they're on to the next project.
Yeah, they've just kind of forgotten. Yeah, it's not on their radar. Yeah, good point. And then lastly, we treat people with respect, kindness, and professionalism throughout the whole business process. In other words, we treat them as human beings. We work with them. We assume the best of people. And my wife is always careful if a payment is late. Hey, we just wanted to make sure you received this. Maybe something didn't come through. Did you understand the invoice? We try to put it on us first to not have them be defensive, so we don't start out our relationship with them like that. My trust of people is pretty strong, but it's enhanced because of the trustworthy collection process that we have in place. So there's those two sides of the coin. And sometimes I wonder if the second side of the coin, the other side of the coin, those things that we put into practice, doesn't kind of shape the first side where people, well, I don't really trust people. Well, maybe they don't trust people because they don't have good processes in place, whereby you trust people, but you also put parameters and boundaries and processes in place that allow people to succeed in paying you. So anyway, if you want more information, I know we did a whole, a whole interview with my wife, Becky. And you can file through and see if you need information about that. We can probably look that up, and maybe Damon can put that link in the description. And that goes through how we do our invoicing in more detail. And that might be something you might want to check out if you haven't watched.
Well, that's something Mom taught me how to do, and you've taught me basically everything you know. You've just taught me all those things. That's another marketing touch. You know, you get a hold of them and say, hey, you know, like you said, being really gracious about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it got lost in an email, or maybe I didn't attach it somehow, or whatever. Just being kind like that, because I think people really appreciate it. I think that's different from people like, hey, you didn't pay me.
Right.
And it's like, oh,
yeah,
I did.
I'm never going to work with you again if you haven't. Right.
So those are just good things to be reminded of.
Yeah. And so think about those types of things. Feedback to us. What do you like, and subscribe and comment if you want to these videos. We always appreciate that. Appreciate you watching. And I know you got some other things to say, but let's do this as we go out. Maybe just kind of slowly take that camera and show Roy, just because he's kind of the star of the show. We're using his popularity for
to
our
give
benefit.
us more views.
Yeah, exactly.
Using his
clickbait
celebrity status as something that we're riding the wave on.
He's laying right over here behind me, so maybe as we close things out, you'll do that just for the last few moments.
For him, Anyway, thanks for watching Todd's Tips. Next up, we'll have our numbers for this week. John will be here from VOMP and talk about how you guys did, and anything else that we might think about on the fly. So check that out with us next. Are you dying to see more content like that? Check out the video over here, or subscribe over here. Thanks.